Hello, this is Story Family, and a new original story from my channel Life Stories. Sophia slowly walked through the yard. To be honest, she herself did not know why she was doing all this, why she had come here, what she wanted to see or learn. She stopped and stared at the large, beautiful house for a long time. Of course, there were many houses even fancier now, but this one stood almost in the very center of the city and, of course, cost a fortune. Just recently, she had found a thread that led her right here, straight to this house. Sophia turned around. Across the way was a small park. There, on two benches, sat some grandmothers. They sat solidly, clearly not just resting but frequent visitors. Sophia resolutely headed toward them, inventing an interesting version for the grandmothers along the way. Hello. Hello. The grandmothers looked at her warily, and Sophia smiled as charmingly as she could. I'm from social services. They gave me the address for Marka Ivana Timofeevna, but according to the address, it's this house. But I decided to check with you. It can't be that someone in such a house requested a social worker. Or maybe Emily Timofeevna really lives there. The grandmothers immediately perked up. The two most important topics: social services and the living arrangements of lonely old people. Sit down, dear. There's no truth in standing. Sophia sat down. Thank you. I run around so much in a day, and then they mix up the addresses. Just like in the registry office. Oh, the grandmothers were glad to see her. So many topics at once. Emily Timofeevna really does live in this house. Though not Markova, but Kleva. Your people in the offices mixed everything up. Just like in the clinic registry. Well, now we have to start all over again. I don't have any anger left for them. And there are no elderly people in this house? Since I came all the way here, maybe offer. The grandmothers waved their hands at her. Don't even go there. Victor will make such a scandal. The owner? What owner? To put it in Russian, no one at all. But soon he'll grab everything and become the owner. The son, probably. Usually, it's the children who bring their parents to our nursing home. Son? What kind of son is he? Oh, I've lived here for so many years that people don't live that long. And the whole history of this family is like the palm of my hand. I'll tell you everything right now. The grandmother stirred, settling in more comfortably so that the one who was about to tell the story was sort of in the center. This woman was the oldest, but she looked like she came from a family where children respected and valued old age. Nice comfortable slippers, a warm skirt, and her hair well groomed. Tablets in her pocket. Emily and Robert couldn't have children at all. They lived a little further away, over there in the private sector. These 5-story buildings weren't even in the plans yet. And in general, Robert somehow got into the flow, rose quickly, bought that piece of wasteland, and immediately started construction. Back then, there were a lot of workers, very many. They paid everyone, but they themselves built and dug in the evenings. They were very friendly. Everything together, everything as a pair. They built a big, beautiful house. There weren't any houses like that back then. They fenced it off. Business was going well. Emily got bored. She would come to the only playground and watch the kids play. She would sit, watch, and go home. She walked like that for a long time, a year or two, and then we see she's come alive. She's always going somewhere with her husband, always with papers. Not even 3 months passed, and they drive up with a boy. About 3 years old. Well, we immediately understood. They took in an adopted child. And good for them. They'll make a happy life for the kid. Emily just blossomed, taking him to the playground and to the rides as a family. She always called him her son. And what about us? We were just happy. The family found happiness. And not much time passed. A year, 2, maybe 3. Emily got pregnant. We watched the developments in the whole yard. There were no TV series back then. Oh, our women were nervous. Some said they'd give Victor back. Others said the boy wouldn't accept the second child because they spoiled him. There were arguments, misfortune, but it seemed like nothing. Emily gave birth to a girl, such a pretty one. Then they came to the playground together. Victor ran around with the boys, and Emily rocked the girl in the stroller. Time passed. The girl was maybe 2 years old, and someone told Victor he wasn't their own. Oh, what happened then? He started fights with everyone, became completely unlike himself. They came from school. Robert punished him and tried to talk. In general, he changed beyond recognition. Emily suffered with him then, and then he calmed down just as abruptly. And their calm life flowed on. Maybe they would have lived happily if one day the girl, their daughter, hadn't disappeared. She disappeared from the kindergarten playground. No one saw anything, as if she just got up and left. There were even versions that someone familiar called her. In general, they searched the whole world but never found her. Emily's face turned black. Believe it or not, you look at their house then, and it's like blackness over it. And there's nothing. That's how it seemed. Emily stopped going out altogether. Victor ran to school and that's it. He was already so big. And Robert kept searching. His work became driving around gateways, looking into basements day and night. That's how they found him with a heart attack in some basement. They found him late, couldn't revive him. That's when Victor lifted his head. And he started squandering his father's fortune. But apparently Emily didn't let him blow it all. He settled down, even got a job. He shows up once a week. In general, it feels like he just comes to check if she's dead or not. And they never found out anything about the girl? How could they find out? The country is huge. One of the women said, "As for me, it's better if they found her dead, at least they could bury her. But this way, living your whole life not knowing what happened to your child, your own blood. No, you're wrong there. At least there's some hope, otherwise there won't be." The grandmothers started arguing. Sophia took advantage of the situation and quickly left. Her head was spinning. Now she understood nothing at all. She had thought her mother and father had deliberately abandoned her. That's what her adoptive parents told her, with whom she never had warm relations her whole life. She walked at first, then ran. Now in her head, it was like clicks, like fragments of memories. Sophia cried. Her brother dragged her by the hand. It hurt, but her brother didn't listen and drag her somewhere. She didn't remember her brother's face or when it was. Nothing at all. Just a second-long snippet. But she remembered her mother's face. Or maybe it just seemed like she remembered. Maybe she made up the image herself. Sophia literally flew into her office. How could this be? She only managed to leave the office after an hour. "Sophia Andreevna, are you sick?" "No, just a bit tired." The cleaning lady sighed. "You'll get tired here. Every old person is like a little child. And behind each one is a story, a tragedy." At home, her husband also looked at Sophia for a long time. "Well, what's happened to us? Another old man brought in by his own children?" Sophia shook her head no. Then she looked at her husband. "Do we have anything to drink at home?" Alex dropped his fork. Sophia didn't drink at all. She might sip champagne on a big holiday, and even that very rarely. He got up, took out the cognac, poured for her, thought, poured for himself. Sophia drank and didn't even notice the taste, whether bitter or not. "I was there today." Alex cleared his throat. "Maybe I shouldn't have had cognac. Maybe I should check the temperature." "Where?" Sophia raised her eyes to him. "At the house where I was born." "Why?" "I don't know. I wanted to see." "Well, what was there?" "A big house. Mom is still alive. Dad isn't." "Wait, did you go in? You said you'd never in your life, that you wouldn't forgive, that you hate." "No, Alex, I didn't go in, I couldn't, but I found out everything about those events. And something wasn't right? Everything. Absolutely everything." "Well, very interesting. Spill it." He poured himself more. Sophia wanted to, but she moved the glass aside. The taut string inside seemed to loosen. She would tell her husband everything because it was he who helped her. He worked as a criminal journalist. He was everywhere, could get into any archive. He knew what and where to look. When Sophia finished, Alex said thoughtfully, "Something tells me this Victor is somehow involved in that case." Sophia looked at him. "I remember him dragging me somewhere. It hurt. I didn't want to go, but he dragged me anyway. But that's all. I don't even know when it was and if it relates to all this. Wait. Pause now. I'll find out everything about this Victor, and then we'll think." Showing up to an elderly woman and saying, "Hello, I'm your daughter," could lead to big problems. Old people have weak hearts. 2 days later, Alex was already telling. You know, I don't want to scare you, but your mom might be in danger. This Victor has a bunch of debts. He's a gambler, works purely formally. And accordingly, he has no money. As I understand, the house is worth a lot now. And Alex, stop, don't scare me. I hope nothing like that happens, but we need to think something, especially since everything turned out this way. Emily Timofeevna watched her son warily. And what are you doing? Packing your things. Why? I'm not going anywhere. You are. And if you argue, I'll have to do it again. Do what? Make a person disappear without a trace. Emily slowly stood up. So I was right. It was you. It was you with our girl. Where is she? Is she alive? Well, why are you getting so worked up? 30 years have passed. How would I know? When the freight train took her away, she was alive. Just whining a lot. You monster, what a monster. Emily wanted to hit her son, but he grabbed her hand. Calm down. You know no one will stand up for you. If you talk too much, they'll find you in the woods tomorrow, and no one will know what you died from. Emily yanked her hand away, sat back on the sofa. Let it be, let her die. If only for a second, for 2 seconds, to see her daughter. Or at least to know she's alive. That he didn't throw her off then. Victor jerked her up. That's it, let's go. And be smart, answer everything correctly. Sophia had just finished talking with the sponsors, pleased as a python because after long negotiations, they promised to replace all the furniture in the corner and bring a new big plasma TV. In all respects, the nursing home she managed was the best in the region. Sophia found sponsors. She went to higher authorities like to work until they allocated money and equipment for a real good medical office. Sophia scandalously refused supplies under the contract because those products were only fit for pigs. Sophia's bosses were afraid to quarrel because they risked being on the front pages of all the newspapers by morning. Sofia Andreevna, the son brought the grandma again. Lord, as if we are made of rubber. But she didn't finish the word a spot freed up, and here they are. Sophia always met the future residents herself and immediately went downstairs with the doctor. She entered the reception room and stopped abruptly. Sophia immediately remembered those eyes and thin lips that whispered to her, "You'll die, and everything will belong only to me." She shifted her gaze to the elderly woman. She sat, staring ahead. Not a word, not a glance. Sophia stepped toward her, squatted down, lifted her face. The woman looked at her in surprise, and Sophia at her. And everyone around froze. Then something flashed on the woman's face. She got agitated, then quietly whispered, "Is it you? Is it you, my girl?" A tear rolled down Sophia's cheek. Another one. "Hello, Mom." Victor backed away. He definitely didn't expect such a setup. Where did this one come from? He had put her on a freight car from the farthest train and was almost sure she would die of hunger while the train was going. He backed toward the door. Sophia noticed the movement and turned to him. "Now you can't hide. I promise you that." Victor didn't get a real sentence. It was long ago, and Sophia is alive. Just nerves frayed, but he left immediately, which couldn't help but please. And Emily seemed to grow 20 years younger, and when she saw her grandchildren, she cried for a long time, unable to say a word. And how the grandmothers on the bench rejoiced, sincerely believing that it was they who helped reunite the family, which in part was true. If you like the story, please support me with a thumbs up button. For you, it's just one action, but for me, it's very important. All the best.